The talking points memo is about fanatics. And I mean, this is just amazing to me, who would rather see people die than give in to politicians they oppose. And I'm going to run about, it's not going to be more clear of this, but also in that analysis, people pay most of these pundits. Big corporations pay them to do this. So the first thing is the Ukrainian situation, which I am hoping there will be a 30-day ceasefire come out of this on Friday. I'm hearing that is possible. Okay? But it's not going to matter because the Trump haters are going to hate. Roll the tape.
It's terrible because we're throwing the Ukrainians under the bus and playing right into Putin's hands. And on the other hand, it's terrible because it's not going to work.
We have to recognize that the big difference between the president and the Europeans and Zelensky is that essentially the Europeans and Zelensky do not want to lose the war. And it does seem that Donald Trump is managing a loss.
Seem to whom, madam? I mean, it's just absurd. Managing a loss? In what capacity? We're sending high-powered weapons to Ukraine. We have organized a response to Putin that is hurting him. Managing a loss? This is the kind of dishonesty. Maybe it's stupidity. Maybe she's just dumb, and the other guy too. I don't know them. All right, then you get the reason that Trump is going to Alaska isn't to save lives in Ukraine. No. It's to divert attention away from Epstein. Go.
He wants to distract you. He wants to distract you from the damage his tariffs are doing to our economy. He wants to distract you from Epstein.
You need to continue to move forward, and you need to not let him divert the media attention away from things like the economy and the Epstein files. Though that is what he is trying to do here.
This is absolutely a distraction from the president's domestic woes, whether it has to do with the Epstein files or the jobless rate.
The jobless rate gets 4.3. This is, but remember, these people are paid to do this. They hate him. There's no doubt in my mind they hate him, Trump. But they're paid to do it. Just keep that in mind. Now, when you get this kind of political propaganda out constantly, over and over, not just in the United States, but in Europe as well, certainly in Ukraine, that Trump is a bad guy, he doesn't care about Ukraine, he's trying to get away from Epstein, all this nonsense, that a lot of people believe it. Okay, they just believe it because they don't know, and they hear it over and over and over and over again. Now, CNN did some honest analysis the other day. A guy named Harry Enton, he's the chief data analyst. He puts out that the Epstein story is pretty much dead. It's down 89% in 3 weeks as far as Google searches are concerned. That's a colossal drop. So Americans, they've had enough of Epstein for now. But here's an interesting thing. This will be revived in September because the House Oversight Committee is subpoenaing all these people to come on in and talk about Epstein. And the person that has most to lose is Bill Clinton, former President Clinton. So I asked my staff, research what they have on Clinton. This is fascinating. So Clinton apparently took about 18 trips on Epstein's plane. And then my staff says it's not true that Bill Clinton went to Epstein's island. And that's what I have. Not true. And my staff's the best. I went, I don't think that's accurate. So I, your humble correspondent, kicked into reporter mode, and I found there are one sworn affidavit by a victim that Bill Clinton was on the island, and a guy named Doug Band, Bill Clinton's top assistant post-presidency, who traveled with Putin on Epstein's plane. He's told Vanity Fair they went. to the Virgin Islands where Epstein had a property, Epstein Island. I found that out. Okay? My staff didn't find it out. Why? Because the mainstream media wouldn't print it. That's why. But I have people who know this case up and down and in and out. So I believe that Bill Clinton was on that island. I also believe that Donald Trump was not. He took 8 trips, okay? And most of them, I think all of them, were between New York City and Palm Beach, where both men had properties. Now, finally, this whole Epstein thing was a giant mistake by the Trump administration, but not a calculated mistake. It all began when Attorney General Pam Bondi submitted to an interview with Fox News. Go.
And one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay, so that opened the door, and now it's the Trump haters trying to tie the president to Epstein in some kind of criminal activity. But I got to give the American people credit. They've had enough. But it will gin up again. If I'm Bill Clinton, I'm not happy about this. And he is not a well man. Bill Clinton is not a well man. They're going to subpoena a whole bunch of people, but that's the top risk. All right, inflation, as we reported earlier this week, very tame. Stock market is reacting to that in a big way and a positive way. But you remember that when the tariffs were announced by President Trump, most of the economists, particularly those on PBS, said, oh, this is going to be a disaster. Roll it.
Yeah, the tariffs are clearly playing a role, and you can see that some of the goods that are most exposed to tariffs are showing pretty substantial increases in their prices. I think the worst is yet to come when it comes to tariff-driven inflation.
Well, shouldn't PBS put Michael Strain back on the air? That's who that analyst was. And say, hey, I made a mistake. That's what an honest news agency does. It's what I do when I make mistakes. All right? Now, last night, ABC News on ABC News Live, I don't even know what that is. I think that's their overnight show or something. They had actually an honest report. Roll it.
Well, for the second month in a row, Diane, we're seeing the White House tariffs seep further into the economy and winding up on store shelves for a number of different consumer goods. As you mentioned, though, those price hikes not quite as robust as many economists had expected. And in fact, we did see a number of items actually come down in price last month.
Thank you, ABC. Now, see that on Good Morning America? No. World News Tonight? No. 4 in the morning, and there it was. But at least it was there. Homeowners, when is the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, then this is for you. Scammers are stealing titles, and your equity is a target. Criminals forge your signature. Just like that, your home title can be transferred out of your name. That's why I partnered up with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Please use my promo code BILL at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report. Plus, you will get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts of any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code BILL. Joining us now from Denver, Colorado, is Frankie Wilmer. He's a PhD, professor of political science at the University of Colorado, Boulder, which has a lot of liberal people and Democrats. I worked in Denver for a couple of years. I'm well versed at the UC Boulder. So first of all, Doctor, thank you for helping us. And am I making any mistakes?
Not so far, for sure.
So
I have to tell you something, though.
Go ahead.
This is the time we met. Did you mention I was a legislator, right, in elected office for 8 years? I actually bought political ads on your AM radio talk show.
Good. And I hope they helped out. Well, you are a registered Democrat, because I asked my staff, I said, get me a smart Democrat. Get me somebody who's not going to come in here and just throw propaganda my way. So from your perch in the Rocky Mountains now, do you see any hope for your party in the next few years?
Well, you talked about the polls. The polls go up and down. There have been times in the past. You said this is the lowest point for Democrats in
35 years. Yeah.
35 years. And just in 2014, 2013, and 2017, polls showed Republicans at about the same place. So it's even more recently. So, yeah, they go up and down. I don't think we've seen the effects of the tariffs whenever they're going to come and go on inflation. We definitely have not seen the impact of the Medicare cuts, Medicaid cuts, especially to the rural hospitals and health caregivers. And those rural states are mostly red too, by the way. So I think that's going to have an impact. And, we talked about the cratering of support for or favorability for Democrats. Donald Trump's popularity has been cratering as well. I mean, he's at 37, we're at 33, but
he's 46 in the Journal poll.
And the Gallup poll, July 7th through July 21st.
But we know where he is.
We know.
Right. Okay. All right.
The Gallup poll is pretty reliable. The point is that the Republicans control all three branches. They control both houses and the presidency, and they have more Republican appointed Supreme Court justices.
Well, the only hope you have is if people turn on Trump. But my analysis is, even if that happens, they're not going to vote. They're not going to vote for you guys. They're not going to vote for you guys, because all of the things that I listed are in stone. They happen. So if say there's an independent voters and they make the calls now, and they go, I don't think Trump's doing a good job for whatever reason, some of the reasons that you mentioned, they're not going to go in and pull a lever for Democrats after Biden and Harris and all of these people disappointed everybody so badly. They just won't vote.
Biden's first election and Obama's two elections both polled very positively with independents. And as you know, this same Wall Street Journal poll shows that independents were the biggest chunk of losses for the Republicans, 29% or something down among independents. So yeah, swing voters are where it's at. I actually think part of the problem is that voters, first of all, as you know, politics is mostly emotional, not so rational. It's about how people identify and how they feel about things. And so that can be very different than reality. And that's about getting the message and the messengers to deliver the message in a clear.
But who's the messenger? You don't have a leader. Democratic Party has no leader.
It's not just that. I could go through a list of people. You name some of them. I think they're very articulate.
But nobody knows who they are. There's not one Democrat outside of the communist
faction.
Until
the convention, nobody knew who Obama was either. So in the next,
but we're talking
closer to the election cycle, to the campaign cycle. Messengers will emerge.
Who?
Buttigieg, Gretchen Whitmer.
Buttigieg? You can't eat. The air traffic controller situation is desperate.
Gavin Newsom. We've got plenty of.
Well. Doc,
I like Wes Moore.
But nobody knows who the governor Moore. Nobody knows who he is. Gavin Newsom is poison for your party. You've got to know that.
It's not time. But I want to make a little bit of a different point on, kind of as a political scientist. The voters clearly in the Mamdani, I know you're going to call him a communist. We'll talk about communism later, maybe. But his election in the mayoral primary, Democrat, and Biden's. Trump's election as president has a really clear message for all of us, which is voters are tired of and they don't want to support candidates who are canned, candidates who are scripted, candidates who are handled.
I agree with that, but you're You're putting. Remember, Doctor. Remember Sarah Palin when she got the nomination in Minneapolis, the famous line that she stole, "You're putting lipstick on a pig." All right? So Mamdani is a communist. The guy wants to
he's a
seize.
democratic socialist, just like everybody.
That's what he says he is. But then when you read his screeds, he wants to seize control of the private economy, which is a. Yes, that's what he said. That's what he said.
But I've listened to him 4 times.
I live here.
Hour.
You live there. I live here.
All the people who
I know what he says. Okay.
Right, so my point, he's a socialist Democrat, just like everybody in Scandinavia is a democratic socialist, and they're not communists.
Way more than that. Way more than that. Now, listen, if you're going to bank on Mamdani to be a positive for the Democratic Party, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
I said that was the message of his win. His
win was 22%. Only 22% of the Democratic registered voters cast a ballot in that primary. That was nothing. It's New York. It's chaos. He's not going to win. He's not going to win the mayoral race. But what they're going to do,
we can talk about the mayoral race another time. The point is,
no, we're not going to talk about it now. The Republicans, Doctor, give me 30. I'll give you 30. Republicans are going to tie a millstone. The Democratic millstone is going to say Democrats right around this guy's neck. Okay. And that's what they're going to do because he's so far out there. But just the fact that you brought him up, and we're talking about him now, shows there isn't one mainstream Democrat, not one, okay, that can spur the message of the Democratic Party. There isn't anybody.
I like Chris Murphy. I like Wes.
Who is he? Nobody knows him.
Chris Murphy. Gavin Newsom. I like.
Gavin Newsom?
We've had presidents who lost their first run and then won the second term. And presidents 2 times, Cleveland and Trump, won a first term, lost a second, came back for a third. So I don't write off Kamala Harris even.
I got one specific question for you. When Gavin Newsom took over from Jerry Brown in California, the state had a surplus of more than $100 million. They are now $34 billion in debt or something. And you like him?
I said I like him.
Why? You like his hair? Come on. Guy's as inefficient as any politician I've ever seen. And Buttigieg is second. You can't even get on a plane.
Bill, I'm going to go back to 2 things you said. One is that DEI is about showing favorability for people because of their skin color. That is not what it is.
Equity, that is what equity is, and that's in DEI.
People who want to misinform and mislead the public are saying that, but I worked in that business in civil rights legislation.
Look up equity. Favoritism to certain groups. Look it up.
Favoritism for white men for 200 years.
So what? So what?
Is not favoritism.
You don't correct a historical wrong by instituting another wrong.
I've heard you say that before too, but you know what? You didn't write the Constitution, and still you want the rights that it presents you. So I want
everybody to have an equal opportunity to pursue happiness.
You can't just pick the parts of history that benefit you.
Look, come on, Doctor. You know DEI is deeply unpopular. You know it's deeply unpopular.
About what it is. It's unpopular the way it's presented, the way you just said, which is not what it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it
isn't. Yes, it is. It's favoritism towards certain groups.
No.
Don't give me that. It is favoritism.
Recruit a workforce, a qualified workforce that looks like America. It's that simple.
That's favoring certain people based on skin color and ethnicity.
It's an aspiration, not a policy.
Aspiration is fine. Knocking people out because they're not the right color isn't, and that's what the Democrats support.
The Supreme Court has ruled on this. That's not.
Why do you think DEI is so far down in the polls? Do you realize it's 65%?
People like you who are giving misinformation to people.
My information, look it up. Look up equity. Look up the definition.
I could read you Title VII, word for word. It prevents employment, fiscal, financial, credit, housing discrimination against protected classes of people.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We're talking about hiring and admissions to universities.
That's
You don't do
employment.
that on skin color. And they have been doing it, and you
the
know it.
Supreme Court has said that you don't. The Supreme Court agrees with that.
And you don't think colleges and employers do that? You don't think Boulder does that? Come on.
I don't think they choose a less qualified person because of their skin color. No.
All right. Look, I want to go next time you visit the Land of Oz. I want to go with you.
Is this Land of Oz?
I appreciate the lively debate, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you are handling your own books or relying on a bookkeeper, it could lead to inaccuracies, missed deductions, and cash flow blind spots. FYSI's team of seasoned accounting professionals, corporate and tax attorneys manage every journal entry, bank reconciliation, and month-end close with precision, delivering clear, timely financial reports. They incorporated advanced tax avoidance strategies into your bookkeeping to capture deductions before you file. And they connect you with industry leaders and referral partners for growth opportunities. Set up your free consultation to learn how FYSI's experts can transform your books into a growth engine and accelerate your business to the next level. Act now to claim your free $5,000 business assessment, available for a limited time. Please go to fysi.com/bill. Use promo BILL, or you can call 800-877-4000 today. If you are 64 years old or older, you gotta hear this. Millions of seniors are on the wrong Medicare plan, and they don't even know it. Don't know it. In fact, the Department of Justice recently sued 3 major Medicare brokers for allegedly claiming to be unbiased while secretly steering seniors toward plans with the biggest kickbacks. Whoa. That's why I am partnering up with Chapter. Chapter doesn't work for the government or big insurance. Works for you. They are the only advisors that compare every Medicare plan nationwide to find what's best for you and your family. They'll even help if you're hit with wrongful medical bills, and that is real advocacy. They have saved the average senior in America $1,100 this year alone. $1,100. Best part, their service is free. You can review your options in under 20 minutes with Chapter. You are in control. So please give them a call. 321-319-1576. Or click the link in the description below. All right, final thought of the day, movies. I can't remember the last time I went to a movie theater. I'm trying to think. I got so mad at the last James Bond movie. It was such an awful experience sitting there watching James Bond dissolve before my very eyes that I didn't go back to the movies for a long time. And this summer, there really haven't been much. The top grossing movie is Lilo and Stitch, made $420 million. Wow. Lilo. Jurassic Park Rebirth, I guess that's the 19th dinosaurs are running around movie. That's grossed $300 million. Didn't see it. Superman, the new Superman, $300 million. Now, the old Superman, the first one, was the best. Christopher Reeves, Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor. Great. He was fabulous in it. And Marlon Brando, Superman's father. After that, that was it. I said, that was good. I'm not a big Superman, Batman, Green Lantern kind of guy. But that was a good movie. I'm not going to go see this new Superman. Or if the dinosaurs pop up on my cable, I might watch a little of it. But I know that the dinosaurs are going to chase people around. You got to pay $12 to see that again? Here comes a dinosaur. Let's get out of here. And then you know who's going to get eaten. In the first 10 minutes, you go, that guy's going to get eaten. Anybody who's nasty, they're going to get eaten. So I don't go to the movies in the theaters. And I don't watch a lot of movies anyway because I'm so busy and I'm reading books and all of that. But that is my final thought. I hope you enjoy the movies. If you've seen a good one, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Give me a heads up on it, all right? Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.